Today I'm going to show you how I made this really cool mid-mod sign with my Creality Falcon 2 22-watt laser cutter. Welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. Last week I made this retro Santa for my Christmas in July video using the Falcon 2 laser cutter. I had a lot of questions regarding the laser machine, so today I'm going to show you real quick how easy it is to use. Let's take a look. So here it is set up in its temporary home. My husband and I are working on a permanent place to keep this where it's easily accessible so I can use it every day. The machine is about 25 inches long by 22 inches wide without the tent. You'll see the tent shortly. One of the things that I really appreciated about this machine was it came almost completely assembled. The only thing I had to do was add the feet and the laser diode. Here are some of the accessories that came along with the machine. This box here is the actual laser diode, and that's the laser on the very bottom. On the top is the connector cable. This is the air assist, which provides airflow to remove smoke and debris. It cools the material to prevent scorching, provides a cleaner cut and a more precise engraving. It's attached to the machine via this tubing here. And then we're also going to have to hook it up to the laser, but I'll show you that in a moment too. Super easy. The legs just screw right into the bottom. They also give you leg extensions. If you need to raise the machine up, you would add these extensions to the legs and then screw the whole thing into the bottom of the machine. There are multiple positions, so you could pretty much put this machine on just about any surface, really. You get a pair of laser-safe goggles, which of course is very important to protect your eyes. And they give you a couple of pieces of sample basswood. There's a wee brush to keep your laser diode clean. This piece here is to adjust the height of the laser, and it tells you right on there which height corresponds with each function. There's also this little box of various bits and bobs, wrenches and screws, a cleaning cloth for the laser. You'll also find the TF card in here, which again we'll get into shortly. They sent me this honeycomb as well as 2 pieces of steel. You'll need one of these if you're using a laser cutter so that the laser doesn't go through your surface. So that's very important. You'll place one of the pieces of steel underneath the honeycomb, again, as a protective measure. Now there's a control panel in the front in case you want to work offline. I will not be using this. A couple of safety features. There's an emergency stop button, this red button here. You'll need to twist this to release the emergency stop button before you start your machine. Otherwise it won't work because it'll be in the lock position. They also give you a set of keys that allows you to lock the machine, which is a great safety feature, especially if you have curious children. Of course they include instructions. There's a quick setup guide and a manual that has a list of all the supplies that have been included in the packaging and additional information on setup and operation. And there's also these cute stickers here too. This bar across the top is the carriage system for the laser. The diode slides into this piece right here, and the 2 screws on this side allow you to tighten it into place. The tubing at the top here, well, that's for the air assist. So I'm just going to take it out from under these pins. That will get attached to the diode. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to put the diode into place. You want to make sure that you've loosened the screws on the sides all the way, and then you can just slide the diode into the fitting. There's a track that guides the diode into place there. Once the diode is in its housing, I'm going to take that adjustment block. This helps focus the laser to the correct height for whatever function you'll be using. I'll slide it under there, and then I will tighten the screws to hold the diode at the proper height. And as you can see, they're just finger tightened. Now that the diode is in place, we're going to remove the little adjustment block. We need to plug the diode into the machine. There's only one place to plug it in, so you can't make a mistake. And it just slips right in. You'll hear a wee click. I'm going to thread the cord from the diode underneath the pins here on top to keep it nice and tidy and out of the way. Now we want to connect the air assist to the machine. It plugs in right here, and again, it's clearly marked so you know exactly where it goes. The dial right here on the side allows you to control the level of airflow. We'll attach the airflow tubing to the top of the diode, and it just slips right into place. Just plug it in right there. Slides right on. Right here across the front of the diode, there are 3 lights: air, fire, and lens. All 3 of these lights will light up green when you're actually using the laser. This is the power pack, so we're going to connect the plug to that. And then this of course needs to connect to the machine, which goes right into the right side here. Just plug that in. Again, there's only one place that'll fit, so just pop it right in there. And then you can plug your power pack into a 3-pronged outlet. And then you'll use this cable to attach the machine to your laptop. So you just slide that into the machine, and then the other end, of course, into your laptop. They do include an adapter to fit a Mac laptop, so that'll be in your little plastic tool case. And this here is the TF card and card reader. You'll find this in the toolkit too. This has all the information you'll need. You just plug it into your laptop. There are multiple files, including the manual, a link to Lightburn software, which is the software you'll need to operate the machine. Okay, so that's the quick setup. Now I really want to get into cutting our donuts and coffee sign. But before we do, I want to place the tent over top of my machine. Again, this helps to cut down on the amount of smoke and debris being released into your environment. It was really easy to put together. You just screw together some rods and attach them with the connectors and then slide the tenting right over top of it. There's also a fan that you screw into place and you attach some tubing to it. This allows you to run the tubing at a window, again helping to cut down on the amount of smoke and dust you're exposed to. So that's very cool. There are these little holes on the sides of the tenting that you can run your wiring through, which is really convenient. Now that we're all tented up, let's cut out our mid-mod sign. I'll be cutting from 3mm basswood. I designed my sign in Photoshop. I exported it as an SVG file and uploaded it into the Lightburn software. Lightburn is a software subscription, but they do have a 30-day trial. You can also use another software, I think it's called GRBL. That's a free version. It's not as user-friendly as Lightburn, but it's not bad. Right, let's take a look at the machine as it cuts out our sign. This was really quick. This too was under 10 minutes, maybe around 8 minutes to do everything, including all the tiny little letters. Yep, there it is all done. Very cool. I'll take this out. I've assembled all the pieces that the machine cut. Everything is nice and clean. No sanding was needed, and you gotta love that. So this is how it's going to go together, but first we need to paint it. Let's get into that. I'll paint the large base of the sign with Ceramcoat Pumpkin, and all the lettering will be painted with Americana Jack-o'-lantern. So this is the bigger sign. This will be in the very back, and of course I'm going to give it 2 coats. Same thing with the lettering, 2 coats. I just love the look of the 3D lettering. That is just chef's kiss. Mwah. The smaller inset sign is going to get 2 coats of Americana Sea Breeze, this beautiful turquoisey color. Love it. I'll give the wee diamonds 2 coats of Ceramcoat Tropic Bay, my all-time favorite color. I painted the donut with 2 coats of Ceramcoat Cantaloupe. I did that off screen. All the other pieces will get 2 coats of Ceramcoat White. I'm going to add some white frosting to the donut, just little ripply strokes in the center here, you know, where the frosting would go. Now for the detail work, I'm grabbing my Folk Art floating medium to do a little shading. This clear gel is the medium. We'll get a healthy coat on our brush working into the bristles. Let's scoop up some Americana Jack-o'-lantern onto the corner of our paintbrush. This is called side loading, and we'll stroke our brush on our plate. This will blend the medium with the paint. This gives us the gradient of color that we're looking for. It fades from the darkest at the very corner of the brush to the lightest as it moves toward the middle of the bristles. I hold the corner of my brush at the edge where I want the darkest shadow, right here. I'm just going to stroke along. And I'm going to reload my brush whenever I need to. And again, you can always tell, the paint gets a little skippy, so just reload the exact same way and lay down that shading. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned this, but you don't really need the float medium. I prefer to use it, but if you have a little bit of water in your brush and you just side load, you can pretty much get the same effect. I'll have to demonstrate that in an upcoming video. I'll float the smaller inset sign first with Ceramcoat Pumpkin in the same way that we did the larger sign. I just love the way the orange float looks around this turquoisey color. I think it's a really good contrast. Since we have that pumpkin on the go, I'm going to float around the outside of the frosting on the donut with it as well. So we're going to hold our brush right at the edge where the white meets the orange and just lay down that shading. It's such a small area, not sure you can see it. Oh, I don't know. Can you see this? There we go. I think you can. I like to add a second color to my float, so I'm going to do that on the smaller inset sign. This time I'm using Americana Bluegrass Green. This is going to pull in a darker shade of the blue-green. It's also going to accentuate the orange shading we've already laid. This is personal preference. You might want to skip the orange shading and just do the blue. Whatever blows your hair back, totally up to you. I'll also shade the diamonds with the bluegrass green. And I'm just going right around the edge. The couple gets shaded with Tropic Bay Blue. Again, it's almost like an outline. I'm just going to shade right around the cup and the wee handle. We'll shade the inside of the frosting with the Tropic Bay, and we're going to shade the other wee white pieces too. These pieces are a wee bit tricky because they're so small. I'm going to add a drop shadow outline to the left of the stars with the bluegrass green. Just a quick wee outline on the left side. And we'll add a little line detail to the wee white rectangles with the blue-green as well. A couple of dots across the front of the cup to bring in all the colors. We'll add some jimmies or sprinkles, depending on where you're from, to the donut frosting with those colors as well. Now that everything's painted, let's assemble our sign. I'll be using tight bond wood glue to attach all the pieces. I'm having so much fun with this laser cutter, you guys. I'll be making signs left, right, and central. Other pieces too. I have a really cool Halloween design in mind, so I'm looking forward to making that. You'll see that in an upcoming video. I'll add the letters to our little diamonds. And then we'll add the lettering, the donut and the cup, and the stars to the center of the sign. And the little rectangles, they're going to shoot off both sides. Before we glue the diamonds to the top, I'm going to add a white highlight to each letter. We're going to want to highlight the letters on the sign too. We'll get that done. Once that's finished, I'm going to glue the diamonds across the very top of the sign. And I glued 2 tiny wood blocks, Dollar Tree cubes, to the back as a stand. I'll give this guy 2 coats of clear matte sealer spray, and we're done. I love the way this turned out. I think it's really cute. Let me know what you think. I am really enjoying this machine, and this would be great if you wanted to start a little side business, little side hustle, or if you're somebody who does the craft fair circuit, you could crank out all kinds of ornaments, signs, personalized items. I mean, it's unlimited. I'm going to drop some links in the description box for you in case you're interested and you want to check out this machine. There is a discount code if you decide, it's something you might be interested in buying. And there's also additional links with additional information about the company, etc. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.